For years, I felt like a prisoner in my own body, unable to break free from the chains that held me back. The extra weight held me back, both physically and emotionally, creating a barrier between me and the life I wanted to live. Each day felt like an uphill battle against fatigue and discomfort, a never-ending struggle that drained my spirit. Simple activities like climbing stairs or playing with my nieces and nephews left me breathless and self-conscious, making me feel inadequate. I yearned to feel light, energetic and confident, to join in the activities that others seemed to enjoy so effortlessly. But no matter how hard I tried, the weight wouldn't budge, leaving me feeling defeated and hopeless. I bounced from one fad diet to another, each attempt ending in disappointment and a sense of defeat, as if I was chasing an impossible dream. The cycle of hope and despair became all too familiar, a relentless roller coaster that took a toll on my mental health. I started to believe that being overweight was my destiny, a burden I was destined to carry for the rest of my life. This belief seeped into every aspect of my life, affecting my relationships, my career, and my self-worth. I avoided social gatherings, fearing judgmental stares and whispered comments, isolating myself from friends and family. Shopping for clothes became an exercise in frustration, a constant reminder of my size and the limitations it imposed. I was trapped, not just by my weight, but by the negative self-image it created, a prison of my own making. It was a lonely and isolating existence, one where I felt disconnected from the world around me. I felt like I was living a half-life, unable to fully experience the joy and freedom that others seemed to effortlessly embrace, always on the outside looking in. I desperately craved change, but the path forward seemed shrouded in darkness with no clear way out. I'd almost given up hope, feeling like I was destined to remain trapped forever. The turning point came on an ordinary business trip, one that seemed like any other. I was flying to Chicago for a conference, already dreading the cramped confines of the airplane cabin, a feeling all too familiar. As I squeezed into my seat, I noticed the discomfort in the eyes of the passenger next to me, a silent plea for space. He had to adjust his position, his body pressing against the window to accommodate my size, a clear sign of the inconvenience I was causing. A wave of shame washed over me, a familiar yet painful sensation. It wasn't his overt reaction that stung, but the quiet understanding in his eyes, a look that spoke of empathy and discomfort. He didn't need to say a word. His body language spoke volumes, a silent communication that cut deep. In that moment, I was confronted with the stark reality of my situation, the burden I was placing not only on myself, but on others as well, a heavy realization. The humiliation I felt during that flight stayed with me long after we landed, a lingering reminder of my struggle. It was a wake-up call, a stark reminder that my weight wasn't just a personal struggle. It was impacting my interactions with the world around me, affecting those I encountered. The experience ignited a fire within me, a fierce determination to break free from the shackles of my weight, a newfound resolve. That airplane ride became a defining moment, a pivotal point in my life. I realized that I deserved better health, better relationships, and a better quality of life, a life free from the constraints of my weight. I was tired of feeling trapped and ashamed, a prisoner in my own body. I was ready to fight for myself, to reclaim my health and my happiness, to embark on a journey of transformation. This time, I was determined to find a solution that truly worked. A sustainable approach that would finally liberate me from the prison of my own body, a path to true freedom. My journey to lasting weight loss didn't begin with a crash diet or an expensive gym membership. It wasn't about following the latest fad or trend that promised quick results. It started with a conversation, a chance encounter at a local farmer's market, a place I visited often but never expected to find life-changing advice. I was browsing the stalls, feeling overwhelmed by the abundance of fresh produce, when I overheard a woman talking about the power of mindful eating. Her words caught my attention like a beacon in the fog. Intrigued, I struck up a conversation with her. Her name was Emily, and she radiated a quiet confidence and vitality that immediately drew me in. Emily's presence was calming, and her story was both relatable and inspiring. As we talked, she shared her own struggles with weight and her journey to discovering a healthier, more sustainable approach to food and eating. Her journey mirrored my own in many ways. Emily introduced me to the concept of intuitive eating, a philosophy that emphasized listening to your body's natural hunger and fullness cues. It was a stark contrast to the rigid rules I had been following. She explained that our bodies are incredibly intelligent, and when we learn to tune in and pay attention, they can guide us towards making choices that nourish and satisfy us. This was a revelation to me. This idea resonated deeply with me. It felt like a missing piece of the puzzle I had been trying to solve for years. It felt like a breath of fresh air compared to the restrictive diets and punishing exercise regimes I had tried in the past. The freedom and respect for my body that Emily spoke of were liberating. Emily's approach wasn't about deprivation or willpower. It was about cultivating a sense of awareness and respect for my body. It was about building a relationship with food that was based on trust and understanding. As I listened to Emily speak, I felt a glimmer of hope ignite within me. Her words were like a light in the darkness, guiding me towards a new path. Could this be the answer I had been searching for? Could this be the key to unlocking a healthier, happier me? Could a simple shift in perspective, a renewed focus on listening to my body's wisdom, be the key to unlocking lasting weight loss? The idea was both exciting and daunting. I was eager to learn more, to delve deeper into this revolutionary approach to food and eating. This chance encounter had sparked a new journey, one filled with hope and possibility. Section 4. The Science of Small Changes. What Emily shared with me that day wasn't just anecdotal evidence, it was rooted in science. She explained that our bodies have a complex system of hormones that regulate hunger, satiety, and metabolism. When we ignore these signals, constantly overriding them with restrictive diets or emotional eating, we disrupt our body's natural equilibrium. This disruption can lead to a vicious cycle of cravings, overeating, and weight gain. Our bodies, starved and confused, go into survival mode, clinging onto every calorie and slowing down metabolism. This is why so many diets fail in the long run. They fight against our biology instead of working with it. Intuitive eating, on the other hand, encourages us to re-establish a healthy relationship with food and our bodies. By paying attention to our hunger cues, eating when we're truly hungry, and stopping when we're comfortably satisfied, we can recalibrate our internal regulatory system. This approach isn't about deprivation. It's about making conscious choices that honor our physical and emotional needs. It's about savoring the pleasure of food, appreciating the nourishment it provides, and trusting our bodies to guide us towards a healthy weight. Section 5. My Transformation, a New Lease on Life. Embracing intuitive eating was like stepping onto a path I never knew existed. Instead of focusing on calorie counts and forbidden foods, I started paying attention to my body's signals. I rediscovered the sensation of true hunger and learned to distinguish it from emotional cravings. I began eating mindfully, savoring each bite and appreciating the flavors and textures of my food. I gave myself permission to eat what I enjoyed without guilt or judgment. To my surprise, as I tuned into my body's wisdom, I naturally gravitated towards healthier, more nourishing choices. The weight didn't disappear overnight, but for the first time, the journey felt sustainable. I wasn't battling my body, I was working in harmony with it. As the pounds slowly but surely melted away, I experienced a surge of energy and vitality I hadn't felt in years. My confidence soared as I shed the physical and emotional weight I had carried for so long. I started engaging in activities I had once avoided, rediscovering the joy of movement and the freedom of a body that no longer held me back.